And hello, and welcome to the Barren Breaks. So yeah, just kind of hiked up this hill to get to the church. So it's a Catholic church, a cathedral. I think it's a cathedral. You can see there. It's a pretty impressive church, and you get a bit of a view, from the top here. Maybe I need to. Sort of get a view. I'd have to walk to the end, but yeah, you're on a hill, and I think it's Castle Hill, and you do get a view over the town. But there's some interesting sort of artifacts here. Like they've got like this sort of sculpture of a homeless sort of sleeping here on the. It's like a sculpture out of metal, like just sleeping on a bench, sort of under a tree, which is kind of interesting. And here, right at the front here, they've got a sculpture. I don't know, is this Jesus? Like a sculpture here, and it says, what does it say? If you believe, you will see the power of my heart. To St. Margaret Mary, 1690. So, yeah, now they've got all these ribbons on the. I don't know. Could I put the minuscule ant? I don't know how I'm going to attach it, but I guess you can. I mean, that's kind of the idea. You want to put, say, a something or a prayer request or a some sort of symbol. At a church, at a religious institution. I could just sort of put it on there, but I don't know, maybe if I attach it to this somehow, I don't know. But yeah, now it's sort of closed. There was the office. I went to the office, but it's there was someone there, but I don't know, they were kind of on the phone. But yeah, so you can see the view. Maybe I'll just switch the phone around, and here get the view. Sort of the mountains in the background. Now tomorrow there's Bible study 7 a.m. at the Anglican Church. Now Barron made a post, read out the minuscule ant at the Anglican Church, and posted on the Barron's wall, so you can see that video. But they've got Bible study there tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. So probably we'll go to that, and then of course leave for Mission Beach or Mission Barron. Mission Beach. I don't know, maybe I should do some sort of missionary while I'm at Mission Beach. I've only got a day because I've got a day trip to Dunk Island the following day, and then I've got the next day. I've only got 3 nights in Mission Beach, and then to Cairns, a week in Cairns. But leave for Mission Beach, I don't know, 11 to 12 o'clock tomorrow. I think it's only a couple of hours. And then to Cairns, and then back to Townsville, but actually going to Magnetic Island. Backpackers on Magnetic Island for a few nights, which could be good. Been to Magnetic Island, but not stayed overnight. So which islands do you go to? Yeah, that's kind of interesting kind of question, Barron. Now that you raised it, yes, Magnetic Island. Well, yeah, it kind of comes down to cost, and also what your sort of purpose is, whether you want to sort of do snorkeling, or whether you want some sort of secluded island, whether you want to stay on a resort, etc. So Magnetic Island is not far and cheap in terms of getting to there, and you can do a day trip. Ferries run all the time. Staying there, well, the backpack was over $100, so I don't know how much hotels would be. Could be expensive. In general, hotel islands are going to be expensive. Dunk Island, I don't know a lot about Dunk Island. I was reading about it. Could be interesting. it wasn't that much. It was about 75 or something return, but you have to get to the ferry, and I've also got the shuttle service, but that includes the lunch, so it was just over 100. Now, in terms of snorkeling, probably the best snorkeling is actually you want to go southern, and that's why sort of Heron Island or Lady Elliot Island. Lady Elliot Island, you can only fly from Bundaberg, and you can do that on the day, but it could be over $500 because of the flight. Heron Island's good, but you can't do that on a day. You have to stay a couple of nights on the island, and maybe one, even 2 nights. But yes, there's a ferry, so if you want to stay on an island, maybe Heron Island. The fact that you can stay on the island and you can get a ferry there, and you go from Gladstone. You go from Gladstone, and probably get some of the best snorkeling, because it's not sort of, you don't have the traffic coming through like you do sort of around Cairns, Port Douglas, even Townsville. But probably the cheapest option is probably Great Keppel Island. But you've got to get to, I think, is it Yarpoon? So you've got to get transport to Yarpoon from Gladstone, and then the ferry, which you can do there for a day. So if you're living on a shoestring, as you do, probably Great Keppel. If you wanted to stay overnight and do some snorkeling, Heron Island. If you want the experience of seeing the island from the air and not staying on the island, just doing a day trip, then of course Lady Elliot Island. But on top of that, yes, there is also Magnetic Island. I don't think you can go snorkeling. I don't think it's far enough out to the reef to go from Magnetic Island. And then there's Dunk Island. I think, yes, you can do snorkeling from Dunk Island, but that goes to Mission Beach. Could be worth going to Mission Beach. It's kind of it's kind of like a hippie sort of scene. That's my understanding. But then there's obviously the whole lot of islands, and then of course there's Whitsunday Islands from Airlie Beach, and it's good. Yes, worth staying Airlie Beach. Also recommend Magnum's. It's sort of backpacker in a cabin. You get that kind of bush setting, and you can go Whitsunday Islands. Barron went to a waterfall. Would highly recommend the waterfall. It wasn't much, only like $50 for return by the shuttle if you didn't have any transport. And you swim sort of underneath the waterfall. I thought that was fantastic. And maybe the ski, the jet ski could be good. You can do an hour, $150 jet ski. Yes, there's a whole lot of activities at Whitsundays Islands. So yes, we're seeing Whitsunday Islands, particularly Whitehaven Beach, and maybe camping on an island, and also maybe staying overnight in a boat if you were to do, say, 2 nights, 3 days from Airlie Beach. So going from say Byron Bay. So yes Byron Bay. Then maybe up to Noosa, Sunshine Coast, kayaking. Barron didn't do kayaking, but kayaking Everglades from Noosa, then to Rainbow Beach. Then you can go to Fraser Island. Fraser Island, I don't know, maybe glamping, dingo tour. Yes, 3 days camping or glamping. And then from Noosa, yes, it's a long trek, but if you're short on time, Airlie Beach, or maybe Bundaberg. If you were, say, going to Lady Elliot Island, if you wanted to fly to Lady Elliot Island, or Gladstone, if you wanted to go to Heron Island, Mackay, no, you could maybe skip Mackay and then to Airlie Beach, Whitsunday Islands, and then Townsville, Cairns, via Mission Beach, Dunk Island, and then Cairns, I don't know, maybe fly Torres Strait Islands. If you want to see Torres Strait Islands, I think Torres Strait Islands is part of Queensland. And then going from Townsville, then inland, Mount Isa, and then down to Alice Springs. And then maybe a loop to Airlie, not Airlie, Uluru, Ayers Rock, via Kings Canyon, and also, what was it, Palm Valley with it's kind of like an oasis. They've got all these sort of trees growing in the middle of a desert. And it's a 4-wheel drive trek to actually get there. I thought it was quite interesting. So you do a bit of a loop back to Alice Springs, then up to Darwin via Katherine, kayaking ideally Katherine Gorge. I think you can even swim Katherine Gorge, although there's crocodiles, but they're freshwater crocodiles. Up to Darwin, or via the was it Jabiru where they've got the jumping crocodile? The jumping crocodile cruise, I think, is very good. No, around Jabiru, and then up to Darwin, or even Kakadu a few days, and you can do a day trip, or you can go from Kakadu to Arnhem Land. If you want to see Arnhem Land properly, you probably need a permit. Darwin, you can do a day trip to, was it Litchfield National Park, and you can also swim in a waterhole there, and then Darwin, maybe Tiwi Islands, and then Kimberley's, Darwin, Broome, 4-wheel drive, Kimberley's, and then Broome, and you may have to go via Perth, and then sort of back to Sydney, Melbourne, and that's Australia. Well, yeah, and I guess Tasmania as well. I don't know if you've got the time, Cradle Mountain, and I guess sort of New Zealand, but yeah, that could take quite a lengthy amount of time. Okay, probably leave it there. Maybe I'll go on the seat. It's kind of set up for that, because you kind of sit here and you can see where is it? I can't sort of get it into the picture. Might have to, hang on, I'm going to have to rotate. Rotate the camera. So it's sitting on this seat, and it's kind of you can see it's sort of like a metal. Yeah, it's metal. Of kind of a homeless. And that's typically, what the church kind of represents. It's kind of a refuge, isn't it? It's a refuge for people, who are basically homeless. And if you need somewhere to, well, if you want to get sort of food, then you come to these religious institutions, and they will give you food, and even just basics, clothing and this sort of thing. So that's why it's kind of trying to represent or depict in this kind of sculpture. Okay, so that was the Barren Breaks.